Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zachary. Welcome back to the Zachary Show, where we talk about everything that's going on in the NBA. As always, you guys know that you are the real MVPs are coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. But now let's just get into everything that is going around in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or even soccer. You can now rock your favorite player from your favorite sport on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off. Link is in the description box below. But now with that out the way, on the video. Let's go. Ben Simmons gave us his hot take opinion on what he sees as the biggest difference between himself and Donovan Mitchell, the two frontrunners to win Rookie of the Year this season. And well, in his analysis, Ben Simmons kept it short and sweet. He's a scorer, and I'm a, scorer, rebounder, pass guy. Like I said, short and sweet, but at the same time, controversial. So let's talk about this. Ben Simmons is clearly an all-around better player when it comes to him versus Donovan Mitchell. That's not really up for discussion. Averaging 16 points and just under 8 rebounds and 8 assists per game. He's been having a historic rookie season, while Donovan Mitchell, on the other hand, is the better scorer. There's no question about that, averaging basically 20 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. Here's the thing, a lot of people take Ben Simmons coming out and saying this as him coming out and saying that he is the better player than Donovan Mitchell. And while it wouldn't surprise me if that's what Ben Simmons thinks, I wouldn't expect him to ever say otherwise, just like I wouldn't expect Donovan Mitchell to ever come out and admit that Ben Simmons is the better player than him. That's not what Simmons said, but that is the argument that a lot of people use for why Ben Simmons is a better player than Donovan Mitchell. That's one of the arguments, I should say. A lot of people think that the player that can do more on the court, do more for his team, is the better player. The guy can rebound, pass, and score. That's a better player than a guy that can just score. But that's not necessarily true. For example, let's take a look at Nick Batum. That's a guy that can pass, rebound, and score. He's a really solid NBA player, whereas his teammate Kemba Walker is more of a scorer. Yet, who is the better player? Kemba Walker. So doing more doesn't automatically make you the better player. Another argument though that is used for Ben Simmons is he makes his teammates better with his passing ability. That's something that Donovan Mitchell doesn't do as much, so Ben Simmons is clearly the better player since he makes his teammates better. This is the argument that I really don't see what the heck people are talking about. Sure, he gets more assists than Donovan Mitchell, but that does not mean that you make your teammates better. Getting assists does not equate to making your teammates better. If you're saying that Ben Simmons makes his teammates better, that means you're saying that players like Joel Embiid and JJ Redick wouldn't be the same players without Ben Simmons that they are with Ben Simmons. That Ben Simmons is the reason that Joel Embiid looks good, and Ben Simmons is the reason that JJ Redick is who JJ Redick is on the Philadelphia 76ers. When we know both of those things aren't true. JJ Redick has been the same player ever since he was with the Clippers, and Joel Embiid showed us how dominant he was by himself last year. Same thing with guys like Dario Saric and Robert Covington. Ben Simmons passes them the ball, he gets them assists, but he doesn't necessarily make them better. It's pretty much the same thing that's going on with John Wall and the Washington Wizards. We thought John Wall was one of those guys that made his teammates better because he was getting a lot of assists, but yet with John Wall out for the past couple of months, we've realized that that's not true. A lot of these guys are playing the same way without John Wall that they were with John Wall. If anything, you might be able to argue that Ben Simmons playing with guys like Joel Embiid and JJ Redick might make him better. It makes his job easier than if you were playing with players that were worse than Joel Embiid and JJ Redick, because being able to pass the ball to an Embiid or a Redick makes it a lot easier for Ben Simmons to get an assist than if he was passing the ball to a Zaza Pachulia or a KCP. So this whole players making other players better thing is up for debate. That being said, one thing that cannot be argued is both these guys make their teams better. Ben Simmons makes the Sixers better and Donovan Mitchell makes the Jazz better. I mean, what Mitchell has been doing this year with the Utah Jazz has been nothing short of remarkable. That was a team that a lot of people were writing off after they lost Gordon Hayward. Yet you could argue now that for the past couple of months, they've been playing better with Donovan Mitchell as a star player than they ever played with Gordon Hayward. As for Ben Simmons, the dude is looking like Magic Johnson reincarnated right now. Already has more triple doubles than Magic did in his rookie year. I mean, both these guys are going to be future all-stars easily. Both of them have potential to be future MVPs of the NBA. This wasn't me knocking Ben Simmons for what he does. He's still a phenomenal player. It's just the argument of Ben Simmons is the better player because he does more for his team or because he makes other players better is kind of ridiculous. All that being said though, I do still expect Ben Simmons to win Rookie of the Year. Yep, it was only a matter of time before Andrew Wiggins came out and denied the fact that he reportedly said that he's unhappy with the Minnesota Timberwolves playing behind Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns, and that time was yesterday. As when he was asked if these rumors were true, he said this: "It's just someone's word of mouth. It wasn't no quote from me. Everyone knows that I don't talk much. I just go with the flow. I don't whisper. If I say something, I'm going to say it clearly and loudly. And Tom Thibodeau was also asked him what he thought when he heard about this, and this is what he had to say. I know Andrew's character. There's no way in the world Andrew was saying any of that, particularly from a guy who was taking the most shots on our team. I think most of us, when this came out, had a feeling that it wasn't necessarily true. Anytime someone in the media used "I hear whispers," I almost automatically chalk that up as a lie. You ain't hearing nothing. Still though, I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Wiggins were to get traded or at least get shopped around this summer, because I still think it's for the best interest of both sides, the Wolves and Andrew Wiggins, if they went their separate ways. This way Andrew Wiggins can go to a team that could maybe utilize him in different ways than the Wolves are doing, and for the Wolves they could go out and get themselves a third option who complements Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns more than Andrew Wiggins does, since he doesn't really at all. They need someone who can bring a different skill set to the table. That actually does it for the news from yesterday though. Now let's take a quick look at the games from last night. This was a really tough loss to the Clippers. They can't afford to take too many L's if they're going to grab one of the last two spots in the playoffs out west. OKC made their jobs a little bit easier as they get the 121-113 win over LA. And for the Thunder, all of their starters played extremely well except for Carmelo Anthony. I mean, this is probably one of their most balanced offensive games that they have had, and low-key, Corey Brewer has been a real nice pickup for them too. He led them in scoring with 22 points last night, and he has just been a great pickup for the Thunder. Westbrook though, with another triple-double of 16 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, while Austin Rivers had 25 for the Clippers. Well, Kevin Durant will now be joining Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry on the sidelines for the next couple of weeks as he was diagnosed with an incomplete rib fracture. He suffered the injury in the Warriors game against the Wolves a few days ago, and you know, for the Warriors, at least all these injuries are happening now instead of the playoffs, and none of them are too serious. But still, Houston is now guaranteed the first seed out west. And also for the Warriors, at least Draymond Green came back this game, and I don't know who should have had the upper hand here, the Warriors without Klay, Durant, or Curry, or the Kings with all of their players available to them. Well, regardless of who was favored or unfavored, it was the Kings who escaped with a 98-93 win. Buddy Hield played well with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Raptors win again, but it wasn't easy as it took overtime for them to win this one. And just like the Rockets have the number 1 seed locked up out west, I'm pretty sure the Raptors have the number 1 seed in the East locked up already, unless something goes tragically wrong. 122-115, their latest double of the Mavericks. Toronto's 11th win in a row. The Raptors or the Blazers, the two hottest teams in the NBA right now. Who do you guys think has been playing better? DeMar with 29 points and Jonas with another great game, as well as he had 21 points and 12 rebounds. Lakers and the Heat got involved in a heated battle last night, and it was the Heat who were able to come out on the top thanks to a clutch bucket from Goran Dragic in the final second. 92-91 the final score. Dragic with another 30-point game, his second in a row, while Randall had 25 points and 12 rebounds for the Lakers. The Orlando Magic lost to the Boston Celtics. Nothing out of the ordinary here, even if the Celtics were without 95% of their best players. And Orlando was actually getting blown out by the skeleton of the Boston Celtics until they attempted to make a game out of it in the fourth quarter, but you know, they failed. 92-83 the final score. Terry Rozier with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. I feel like the Sixers are one of the biggest wild cards in the Eastern Conference. You got Joel Embiid, you got Ben Simmons, you got JJ Redick, he can get hot. You got Dario Saric, you got Robert Covington, he can get hot. I mean, this is a very dangerous team. We just have to wait and see how they perform in the playoffs. They beat the Nets yesterday, as they should, 120-116. Embiid with a near 20-20 game with 24 points and 19 rebounds, and Simmons almost had his third triple-double in a row with 21 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just imagine those two when they're both in their primes. That's about to be ridiculous. That wraps up all the action from yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news. Remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, that player was Nikola Jokic with his 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!